Good evening and welcome to Estuary TV News. I'm Hugh Riches. On the show this evening we find out where people plan to watch the football during the upcoming World Cup.
It's quite expensive to go in pubs as well, I've noticed, and I don't want to pay for beers.
Don't know yet, probably pub.
Yeah, why the pub?
Just to be with people and enjoy it more.
Join me later for the sports news.
And my guest in the studio is Gary Hood from Humber Sports Partnership. But first, it's over to James for the news.
Hello, in the headlines today, Ofsted say schools in North East Lincolnshire need more support from the local authority. And what does Grimsby Town have in common with the World Cup? A new project for disabled children aims to find out. Pupils and parents in North East Lincolnshire deserve better. That's according to Ofsted after a damning report that showed North East Lincolnshire Council need to provide better support for failing schools. Inspections since September last year show that the percentage of good and outstanding schools in North East Lincolnshire is significantly lower than the national average. As a result, Ofsted brought forward inspections for 7 schools and only 1 was deemed outstanding. 3 needed improvement. Ofsted also surveyed 11 more schools and results revealed that while the weaker schools receive support, many feel that others who still have much to work on don't receive enough attention. Nick Hudson, the Regional Director for Ofsted, said that they are concerned about the number of schools needing improvement, but that they will work with the local authority to help make schools better. 16,000 carers in North East Lincolnshire are better off after a support service was launched. Comedy character John Shuttleworth, aka Graham Fellows, officially cut the ribbon to open the one-stop shop in the centre of Grimsby, which is for those who care for relatives or friends. This week is National Carers Week, and the centre had focused on the 90s-50s as its theme. Nicola Pullman, Service Leader of Carers and Communities at the North East Lincolnshire Clinical Commissioning Group, said it was about time the area recognised those people.
Very much on the service user. When you can see a disability or when somebody is in need of help, they're usually the first person that people see, the GP, the acute trust, or somebody presents to social care, and it's usually behind them is stood their carer. So we need to make sure that people equally, both the service user and the carer, are seen and supported for their own individual needs.
The difficult thing is a lot of carers don't see themselves as carers because of the situation they're in. They're looking after maybe their husband, their wife, their child. So they just see it as something that they should be doing. And they don't realise that there's a whole wealth of support there available for them. So as well as maybe the professionals not identifying carers so much, they have trouble identifying themselves and making themselves known, and that's another reason we're here and the work we're trying to do. It's trying to bring those carers out the woodwork that haven't accessed the support yet, just to, as we've said, make sure they can carry on caring and doing such a great job.
Hundreds of fire brigade staff went on strike across Humberside yesterday as their dispute over pay and pensions remains unresolved. They're due to strike again next Saturday, June the 21st, and the service has advised people to avoid making unnecessary calls. Chief Fire Officer Dean Sanders says their priority will be calls where lives are at risk. The World Cup kicked off yesterday with the host nation Brazil playing Croatia. Kick-offs are later than usual because of the time difference in South America, but licensing laws have been relaxed so pubs can stay open for England matches. There are some concerns over people drinking for longer with late kick-offs ahead of England's first test against Italy tomorrow at 11 p.m. But Paul Money, chairman of Pubwatch North East Lincolnshire and manager of the Fiddler in Cleethorpes, wants to reassure people that steps are being taken to ensure local pubs are trouble-free.
We do work alongside the police and the local authority, so we do get information about anybody that's on football banning, and we get told about these things, and we keep a close eye on and monitor situations, but hopefully it's going to go off well, we're not going to have any problems, and it's going to be safe for everybody.
More on that later in the show, and in case you haven't yet had enough football, North East Lincolnshire Libraries are celebrating scoring a £4,000 grant to put the floodlights on this area's football history. The Heritage Lottery grant will pay for the project called Football, the World Cup and Us, allowing young people with learning disabilities to look at the contrasting histories of Grimsby Town and the World Cup. It's in partnership with local charity Care for All.
Credit to the library staff who can actually get this grant, put it into a project like this and involve people who would not normally maybe get involved in football type activities, and indeed history, heritage of football, particularly related to Grimsby Town.
Well, the main objectives are for the students to learn new research skills. They're going to visit the library, they're going to look at the local history collection, probably use new equipment like the microfilm readers and printers, learn about researching.
And I'm afraid that that's all we've got time for today's bulletin. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
As you might have noticed, the World Cup soccer tournament kicked off last night. Due to the time difference between the UK and Brazil, the matches will be held at 11 p.m. our time. So the question is, where will you be watching the games if you are, at home or in the pub? James Dunn went to find out.
World Cup fever is beginning to take hold, and with the opening ceremony out of the way, now the question on everyone's lips is, where are you watching the match?
Where am I watching the England match? It'll probably be in the pub.
At home.
Home.
Yeah? Why at home?
I'm on mornings these days.
It's on too late.
Probably the pub.
Yeah,
get
pub.
a few friends together.
Yeah. It's quite expensive to go in pubs as well, I've noticed, and I don't want to pay for beers.
Don't know yet, probably pub.
Yeah? Why the pub?
Just to be with people and enjoy it more.
Why at home?
I ain't got any money to spend on beer, so.
Do you want to watch football? Let them stop at home. I love my pub life. Then you walk in a pub these days. Oh God, let's go.
We all want England to win, but our local pubs have a lot more riding on it than most. They've had a rough few years, with takings about as disappointing as the England football team.
One of the biggest challenges is the cheap beer available in supermarkets, and I think this year there could be a lot of people having parties at their houses.
With the situation is at the moment with business not being brilliant, it gives us a chance to actually pull back some of the money we might have lost throughout the season.
A lot of pubs who are on borderline at the moment are praying for a good World Cup to pay the bills, keep going a bit longer. As you know, there's been quite a lot of pubs closing down, and it could just be the injection they need to keep going.
But much like England fans, they'll want to believe that the past is the past, and 2014 just might be our year.
You have to make the effort to try and draw people in and give them the atmosphere.
Even though we've got a late picture on the first match, I still think that people will come out, enjoy themselves, and if they don't want to watch football, they can still listen to music as well. Right?
But this World Cup is in Brazil, so the kickoffs are later than usual. Pubs have been granted special licences to stay open during England games, and with longer drinking hours come the usual concerns about safety on our streets. However, precautions are being taken to reassure the public that watching the match in a pub is as safe as houses.
It's going to give people longer in the pubs. Hopefully we can control things and there'll be no problems, it'll be safe and people will have a good time and enjoy themselves. We all do plastic glass and plastics on the big football days. We all have door staff on to control it, and it's just a case of watching it before anything does take place.
But whether you're screaming at your own TV or the projector screen in a pub, I'm sorry to tell you that they can't hear you. But will they be screams of delight or screams of frustration? I asked a few people if England can win the World Cup.
Definitely. Definitely. Why not?
Yeah, of course can if they put all the young lads in, yeah.
Not a chance, mate. We all know that.
Unfortunately, with teams like Brazil and Germany, I don't think they can.
Nah, no chance. No, not a chance.
I hope so, definitely. I think we deserve it.
We've got as much chance as anyone.
Maybe, if we have a miracle.
No, God no. As much as I want them to win, I know they won't.
If they get out of the group, they'll have a chance, I guess.
Not with Italy in the way.
I couldn't care less.
James Dunn, Estuary TV News.
I will almost certainly be in the pub, though not watching football. Joining me now is Gary Hood from the Humber Sports Partnership Limited to talk about sport. Gary, many thanks for coming and joining us.
Hi.
What is the Humber Sports Partnership?
Well, it is a charity that was set up on the 1st of April of this year. And really what we are doing is we're working with all of the local authorities, the universities, the colleges, the schools, clubs, the infrastructure of sport, I suppose, to try to bring people together to make more opportunities for sport to take place in the Humber. And obviously we work extremely closely with Sport England and the national governing bodies of sport, the FA, the the Rugby League, the RFU and England, British cycling, to try to make sure that all of the investment that is coming nationally, the Humber can take its fair share of, but also that investment is productive and gives people those opportunities that are out there.
And so what do you provide? You provide coaching, you provide facilities?
We actually help the coaches to, we provide coach development, if you like, to make sure that coaches are adequately qualified for the coaching that they're doing, so that the cricket coach might be fantastic at cricket, but is not necessarily coaching, swimming or football or something like that. But also that they're coaching in a way that are making people enjoy sport. We're not there for the elite end, and that's very much done through Sport UK. But what we are there is it's about increasing participation, giving more people those opportunities to participate in sport at whatever level is comfortable for them. Not everybody wants to be Jessica Ennis, but a lot of people can get an awful lot of enjoyment by engaging with sport at various levels.
And what around this region, around East Yorkshire, Northern Lincolnshire, what are the facilities like? How easy is it to get involved?
It's extremely easy to get involved. If you go onto the humbersport.com website, we have a list of clubs in all areas of the Humber, which I'm sure would welcome people with open arms to get involved. Quite often the biggest step of getting involved in sport is one of yourself, just having that bit of confidence to go into a club or go into a new environment and say, actually, I want to take part. And you can go there either to actually be a sports person yourself and just get a little bit fitter, meet some new friends, because they're fantastic social hubs. Or you can go in there as, be a volunteer. And what tends to happen is that more and more opportunities open up.
You're particularly aiming this at young people, the teens and the under 25s.
Yes.
Are we fit enough? Do we need to become more athletic? And does that age group particularly need to get a little bit more limber?
Well, they are in the prime of life.
Well,
very much so.
So am I, and have been for 20 years.
And yes, the 16 to 25 is a huge drop-off area for sport. There are actually more 17-year-olds engaged in sport than there are 30-year-olds.
And you'd encourage them all to come along and take part in it?
I certainly would, and keep involved in sport and get involved in it.
And remember, it's not about winning, it's about taking part.
It is.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Gary. Now it's over to Dave Nunn for the other sports today.
Hull City hope to sign Manchester City's Joleon Lescott. Steve Bruce has offered the player a lucrative 2-year deal with the Tigers. It's been reported that Scunthorpe United are targeting Port Vale's Jefferson Myrie Williams, although manager Ross Wilcox has yet to confirm the target. In cricket, Caister Town play host to Oakborough, while Grimsby Town away at Skegness. Elsewhere on the local circuit, Cleethorpes head north to York, Market Raisin travel to Spalding, and finally Sleaford await Louth. In tennis, Dan Cox from Lincoln and 19-year-old Kyle Edmund from Ticton near Beverley have been given wildcards to compete in this year's Wimbledon competition. Lincoln's Jade Winley also has a wildcard for the women's doubles with partner Sam Murray, and is hoping for another in the mixed doubles. Finally, in Rugby League, Hull KR face Warrington Wolves at 8 p.m. tonight. Forward Jamie Langley believes he and the other experienced players can help repair the team's confidence after last week's 54-12 defeat to Castleford. Back to Hugh.
Well, that's all from us. Contact us in the usual ways if you have a story, through Facebook or Twitter, and also by phone on 01472 315561. Until tomorrow, goodbye.